Hey, are you a soul-led coach, healer, or trauma coach? Well, stay tuned because this is the very first video of 25 days to slay in May. Hey, I'm Angela, trauma healer and self-sabotage slayer. I help healers, soul-led coaches, and trauma coaches slay self-sabotage so they can embody freedom, live on their terms, and do business their way. And today's first video for the 25 days to slay in May is all about why you might be sabotaging both your business and your life. So if you are really struggling with this, I want you to stay tuned because that's what all of this content is all about. But since I have you, make sure that you like and subscribe. This helps me reach other healers and coaches just like you and just really helps me out so much. So let's get into why you might be sabotaging. There are so many reasons why you might actually be sabotaging. And your sabotage, it might look like procrastination, distraction, hesitation, playing small, running back to what hurts you, feeling like you're undeserving of both success and happiness, struggling with low self-worth and self-esteem, and just really allowing yourself to be in relationships or around people that don't lift you up and don't bring the best out of you. This is potentially what your sabotage can look like. And it can look like so many other things as far as your business goes, like not asking for the sale, not showing up when you know that you need to show up, rescheduling things because something happened and you're really scared about showing up for that podcast, that interview, not showing up consistently or what you determine is consistent for you. Or really watering yourself down so that you are not really being all of you authentically and confidently. And if you recognize any of these patterns, this is huge. And we've got to really talk about why you do this. I know that so many coaches want you to believe that you do this out of low self-worth. End the story. That's what it is. A lot of coaches want you to believe it's because you're not disciplined enough, or your willpower isn't strong enough, or your mindset isn't exactly where it needs to be. And yes, all of those things play a huge role in not sabotaging anymore, but ultimately your sabotage comes from natural survival instincts. It is a safety mechanism that is triggered when you are actually in your sympathetic nervous system or your flight or fight mode. So if you feel like you are constantly stressed out, or there's a perceived threat like raising your prices or putting yourself out there or saying the things that might rock the boat, and you don't really want to do that because you've been taught your whole life that you have to be a good girl. So if those are perceived threats, that means that the reason why you sabotage has more to do with not feeling safe than anything else. Yes, there might be fear of success. Yes, there might be fear of failure. There might be all of these fears surrounding it. But when you wash away those fears, when we really get down to the root of everything, it is about not feeling safe in the present moment, about not feeling safe in your body. When other coaches and other gurus and experts, when they try to say, well, this is the reason why, and it's at this level, you are still going to continue to sabotage. You are still going to continue to deal with procrastination and hesitation and playing small and showing up as a watered down version of yourself, or not fully allowing yourself to step into your power or your spiritual gifts. You will continuously do that because we are not addressing the root. The reason why those fears even exist in the first place is because there's underlying trauma, and there's probably underlying developmental trauma, and developmental trauma is actually unhealthy childhood conditioning. And this is where a lot of your unsafety comes into play. This is where your doubt comes into play. This is where your hesitation comes into play, your procrastination and your distraction, all of those things, because you actually have other people's voices running the show, okay? And this is why it is so important to work on the safety and get to this root cause of why you might be sabotaging. It all comes down to this safety mechanism that takes place. And how do you necessarily deal with that? Through healing your trauma and unlearning your unhealthy childhood conditioning. And then, of course, doing business your way. But if you're not healing your trauma, if you're not unlearning your childhood conditioning, doing business your way is virtually impossible anyway, because there's going to be so much of a fight that you have to deal with because you do not trust yourself at all. Now, you might be thinking, oh, well, I'm a trauma coach, I'm a healer, I'm a soul-led coach, I know how to deal with these things. What I have learned, especially in my personal life, is that when you are a healer or a coach, especially a soul-led coach or a trauma coach, everything that you've ever known, everything that you've ever learned when you sabotage goes out the window. It's like you don't know anything that you were taught. It's like you don't know that you need to come back to safety. It's like you don't know that these coping mechanisms like procrastination and hesitation, they're just there and you're just in it. And the reason why that happens is because you go from being anchored into your service into survival mode. And that's exactly what the sabotage is to begin with. So you're not fully aware, you're not fully present. And that's why all of those things kind of go out the window, even though you are a healer, even though you are a soul-led coach or a trauma coach. And it's okay that those things happen. I have been there, I've done that. I've sabotaged an entire business into failure. So I want you to know that number one, that you're not alone. And number two, this is why you are consistently sabotaging. No matter what it looks like for you, it might be, you might be dealing with hesitation and procrastination. You might be running back to what hurts you, or being in a relationship that's not aligned and fully good for you, or you might be, running your ground into the business like I did. I've done all of the above. So I want you to know that you're not alone in this. And if you're truly struggling with self-sabotage or especially doubt, I want you to go to the description down below in the comments and check out my new webinar that's coming up that will be for the last day of the 25 days to slay. It's 7 steps to slay doubt so that you can show up bigger, badder, and bolder online. This is for healers and soul-led coaches and trauma coaches that want to fully step into their authenticity and confidence so that they can attract soulmate clients. So if that resonates with you, I invite you to go down to the description and check that out. And then for the next 24 days, you are going to see a brand new video here on YouTube. So make sure that you like and subscribe so that you can get this content when it gets pushed out every single day for the next 25 days. And I will see you in the next video.